Despite of all the real risks of road accidents, do we ever abandon the usage of motor vehicles and go back to the usage of horse-drawn carriages? Instead, we implement safety measures like speed limits, seat belts, and helmets. But time and again, political parties and their leaders in India have taken a serious effort to make our progressing democracy step back a bit. And how so? By professing the usage of paper ballots instead of a technologically and economically ahead option, the EVMs. In today's video, let's take a dive into this topic of the electronic voting machine versus the ballot papers and see how the success of EVMs have indeed made the practice of usage of a ballot paper a long lost tradition. With majority of our people taking examples from the Western world and even seeking validations from the West, let's start off with what all went wrong with the usage of a ballot paper in the United States of America over the past few years. For example, if we consider the current US elections, we saw how counting was still going on for over 36 hours for states such as Pennsylvania, Nevada, Georgia, and North Carolina. So this suggests that ballot paper are not that efficient, even for the world's greatest democracy, the United States of America. The 2018 North Carolina primary were made to rerun after a consultant from the Republican candidate tampered along with these voting papers. These are just a few instances out of many that elaborate that the problems of employing a ballot paper in elections is serious. Now let's take a brief look at how the ballot paper system was indeed formulated and put to use in our country. In the paper ballot, the voter was asked to cast his or her vote by marking against the selected candidate of their choice and putting the ballot in a box called the ballot box. Now by law, there should only be one candidate that's selected, and there shouldn't be more than one mark on the ballot paper, or rather say any other mark anywhere on the ballot paper. In such a case, during the process of counting of votes that used to happen, the process of validating or discarding these invalid votes rested with the hands of a returning officers. And these returning officers happened to be the district magistrate of each district. And during counting, if any paper had more than one mark anywhere on it, then the vote was considered invalid and was taken out of the voting or counting process. With the usage of ballot papers, not only was the counting and voting a process a cumbersome one, but also a lot of other flaws slided in way too easily, making it an easy way to be wrongly used. And Bihar is a stark example of all of this. Everybody knows how booths were captured and a large number of voters were indeed kept out of this democratic process of voting and electing. And voting would be completed many times before 11 a.m. Other disadvantages of using a ballot paper involved cases of a ballot box stuffing and inks being thrown inside the ballot boxes, making it impossible to figure out the name of the candidate that's been selected or picked. Marked, unmarked, wrongly marked, or even multi-marked ballot papers are subjected to the decision of a returning officer, which happens to be the DM of each district. These disadvantages, coupled with a growing population and the need for a technologically advanced system, called forth for the usage of the electronic voting machines in India. These machines were introduced in the Indian elections between 1998 and 2001 in a phased manner first. The electronic voting machines have been used in all general and state assembly elections of India since the year 2004. The state or the scale of Indian elections bears testimony to the fact how EVM technology addresses the electoral fraud and simplifies the entire electoral procedure. The elections of 2019 witnesses a historic 67% voter turnout from nearly 900 million registered voters from across 542 parliamentary constituencies of the country. A study provides strong evidence how the introduction of EVMs led to first, a significant decline in electoral fraud, second, strengthening of the weaker and the vulnerable sections of the society, and third, a more competitive electoral process in the country. Alleging vote fraud through tampering of these electronic voting machines is a time-honored tradition by the losing candidates and parties in India. There have been many allegations even in the recent times with regard to the electronic voting machines and switching back to the usage of ballot papers. And while it is important for the Election Commission to address these concerns, the Election Commission of India has clearly mentioned that abandoning EVMs in favor of paper ballots is not the solution. Automation helps improving the efficiency and speed of voting and counting both. but it is even more important in overcoming the process of electoral fraud. These and other logistical challenges of paper ballots were exactly the reason why India's Election Commission pushed forth for the usage of EVMs after widespread practices or malpractices in the 1970s elections of India. Having talked about all of this, now let's move on to talking why India cannot move back to the usage of paper ballots, even if some political parties, their leaders, and widely popular journalists are strongly in favor of them. Moving to the EVMs was indeed a green move. An estimated 10,000 tons of paper is required if the votes are to be casted through a ballot paper. And EVMs are undoubtedly a far more eco-friendly approach or eco-friendly option. The use of EVMs has drastically reduced in incidents of booth capturing and violence. Booth capturing was a rampant practice when ballot papers were used because the ballot papers are indeed easy to tamper with. Besides, EVM are more economical options as compared to the ballot paper usage. Of course, no technology, if it's considered, is infallible, and credible allegations of the electronic voting machine tampering must be taken seriously. And fortunately, the Election Commission does so. The quick responses by the EC to specific allegations, random audits, and public demonstrations are essential to reinforce the EVM's reliability, and this definitely takes the EVM's trustworthiness beyond reproach. And further, the advancements, or rather say re-advancements on the accuracy of the EVMs would sadly end the 35 years of a gloriously entertaining tradition. And I hope you know by this what I mean. They've been a classic example, or rather say a live demonstration, which happened to be the Aam Aadmi Party's version on how to tamper with the electronic voting machine or the EVM, where a party legislator, Saurabh Bhardwaj, carried out a demonstration, or rather say a live demonstration, claiming that anybody who knows a secret code can tamper with the EVMs. But soon after this live demonstration, the Election Commission sources told that the EVM used by Saurabh Bhardwaj was not done on the machine that the EC uses. This is how opposition parties have attacked the EVMs when they couldn't get votes on the national level and have indeed ended up making themselves a laughingstock for the public. Another very recent example, if I have to quote, is from the Bihar election, and it tends to point us in a direction that we are really looking at, where Congress leader Rahul Gandhi raised the issue of the electronic voting machine. And this was done while he addressed a rally, where he said that EVM is not EVM but rather MVM. And by MVM, he meant a Modi voting machine. Now, while there have been innumerable reasons that cannot be backed with proofs, one reason that stands strong to all these blames on electronic voting machines is that this is what happens when a party that has huge expectations of winning the polls fails. It resorts to blaming these electronic voting machines. Well, that's probably because they just cannot happen to blame the voters. Because if they did so, the voters may teach them a more bitter lesson in the next elections.